Readings from Meditation and Spiritual Life, Chapter 25, Formless Meditation. Our first point is non-dualism is a far-off goal. There is a well-known Sanskrit verse which aptly expresses the true spirit of Hindu worship. O Lord, in my meditations I have attributed forms to Thee who art formless. O Thou, Teacher of the world, by singing Thy glory, I have contradicted the truth that Thou art beyond all speech. By describing Thee as specially manifested at places of pilgrimage and the like, I have denied Thy omnipresence. O Lord of the universe, pray, forgive me for this threefold fault of mutilation committed by me. All worship is undertaken with the basic assumption that behind all forms, beyond all names and symbols, shines the supreme light which is without form and attributes. Spiritual life is like a staircase leading to the final experience of non-dualism, which may be compared to the terrace. Since most of us are still on the staircase and not on the terrace, we should stress the steps very much now, but always remembering that our goal is the terrace beyond all steps. Moreover, we should first of all know where on the staircase we actually stand. Many people want to practice non-dualistic meditation very often after reading a few books on Advaita. So many people talk about the Absolute, but what do they attain on the practical side? Most of them give up after a short while. They find they are getting nowhere. In the case of a few others, it may take them several months or even years of futile effort to understand that non-dualism is beyond their grasp. People forget that non-dualism is a state of actual experience. It is not what appeals to you intellectually that is important, but what actually you can do. We should not attempt anything simply by reading books. A dualist with a real spiritual experience is infinitely better than a monist without experience. So long as we meditate, so long as there is meditation and the object of meditation, even in the subtlest form, it is dualism. So we need not worry now about the one without a second. We need not worry about getting merged in the one now. For most people, it may even take millions of years to attain to that state. Next point is the one behind the many. But it is most important to bring the one into the many. In the midst of all the multiplicity, we should not forget the one which is our ultimate goal. The infinite, the absolute, must form the background to the forms of God we meditate on. In the path of devotion, the aspirant concentrates his mind and feelings on his Ishtadevata or holy personality. The vast majority of people need the support of such holy forms for their meditation. But they should not forget that all these divine forms are only special manifestations of the absolute principle. Both your soul and the holy personality are one in that absolute principle which Vedanta calls Brahman. But the holy personality is a special manifestation of Brahman. In the great incarnations and prophets, you see a unique manifestation of divine purity, knowledge, love, etc. In the nucleus of our own small personalities also, there is the same purity, knowledge, love, etc. But it is all covered with ignorance. Our personality is a combination of the true self and the false self. The spark of light forgets its light nature and identifies itself with the cloud nature, and then all the troubles and miseries of life arise. If you imagine that you are drawn in the infinite ocean of consciousness, you will feel that your personality is something subtle that has become gross. Our next point is types of formless meditation. However, instead of meditating on a holy personality, you may, if you like, meditate on a non-anthropomorphic symbol of the divine, like the ocean or the sky or a vast area of light or space. This is meditation on the formless, but remember, this is not monism, but is only a step to it. Meditating on an ocean of light and meditating on a holy personality are dualistic meditations, but the former is nearer to monism than the latter. And I repeat, a dualist with experience is infinitely better than a monist without experience. In formless meditation, think that both the vast mass of light, your object of worship, and you, this small particle of light, are drawn in a vast, infinite ocean of light. First, we think more or less of the body alone, and there is only an indefinite idea of the principle of consciousness standing at the back of ourselves, of everything. Then we begin to stress the principle of consciousness more than the body and try to see the divine spark living in all bodies and giving life to them. It is possible for a devotee to love the formless as much as God with form. This is only a question of temperament. In this, there are 3 steps. First, with form and with attributes, that is sakara saguna. Second, without form but with attributes, nirakara saguna. Third, without form and without attributes, nirakara nirguna. In the course of our spiritual practice, we must take a definite standpoint from where to proceed. There are some devotees who, in a certain mood, would turn to the form with attributes, and in another mood to the formless with attributes. At every step, we must be in touch with the divine, whatever be our mood. It is this inner contact that is more important than the object of our meditation, with form or without form. Sri Ramakrishna was very fond of a Sanskrit passage. When I think of myself as identified with the body, I am thy servant, and thou art my master. My will is controlled by thy will. When I think of myself as a jiva, that is individual soul, as distinct from the body, I am a part and thou art the whole. When I recognize this spiritual principle in me as a distinct from body and mind and jiva, I realize that I am one with thee. This standpoint we adopt must be based on our actual experience. We should not go on changing our attitudes after reading books. A higher point of view may be appealing, but are we really able to apply it in practical life? That is the question. There are some aspirants who are not satisfied with having only one form of meditation. They think of the infinite ocean in which exist the worshipper and the worshipped, like the bubble and the wave. The devotee thinks more of the divine than of himself. Then he tries to think of the principle in the object of worship and in himself. In the next step, the bubble and the wave both get merged into the infinite ocean. So long as there is even the slightest clinging to personality, one passes through repeated births. When this clinging stops, the water particle becomes one with the ocean. But just now, we need not worry about getting merged in the ocean. That will take a very long time. When Swami Yatiswarananda was in America, a lady expressed to him her horror at the idea of getting merged in Brahman. Swamiji smiled at her and told her that there was no cause for such fear. When the drop of water reaches the ocean, the rays of the sun lift it up and bring it back to the earth. There is no imminent danger of the souls getting merged in Brahman. For the vast majority of people, it may even take millions of years to attain that. Till then, they are born again and again to work among their fellow men, to share their joys and sorrows. Before we die, we must get at least some glimpses and then move on. If in this life you do not succeed, begin again and again, move on life after life till you reach the goal. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.